Shalom Aleichem. We are learning the Sicha of Pinchas Gimel, and it is based on a Farbrengen that the Rebbe had in 1961. So let's share it. Originally, the Rebbe said it in two separate Sichas, but the Rebbe, obviously in the Sichas it was combined. So first, Rebbe spoke about what it says in Pinchas, Himni Noisim Loyas Bisi Shalom, Loy Lazara, etc. By Moshe, however, it was Umayla Lamata, Pinchas was Umata Lamayla, to be Ma'ara Yidin to Tshuva. And Rebbe said then, we know that the Chazal say that wherever Baal Tshuva stands, even Tzadik Gomer cannot stand. So we see the Maila of Mata Lamayla. We also see the Maila of the second set of Luchas over the first set of Luchas. The first Luchas, according to the Gemara and the Dorim, was only Chamisha Chumshei Torah and Sefer Yeshua. And Luchas Shniyas, you had Halachas, Medrash, Agadas, you had everything like Dosha Rabbi. So you see the Maila of Mata Lamayla. Okay, then the Rebbe went on to talk about the Nevuah of Yirmiyahu. The Rebbe started off the Sicha talking about a bit of the history. The Rebbe says, we know the Medrash says that when Yirmiyah wanted to go with Yidden to Bavel, Hashem said, Yirmiyah, if you stay here in Eretz Yehuda, which is the part of Eretz Yisrael that was demolished. Remember, the part of Eretz Yisrael in the north was already demolished by Sancheriv 100 years earlier. The Churban Habayis, the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, only destroyed the southern kingdom, which was called Yehuda. So he says, if you stay here in Eretz Yehuda, Ani elechi ma'im leBavel, and I, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, will go with them to Bavel. Im ata telechi ma'im, but if you go with them, Ani eshev li poi b'Eretz Yehuda, I'll stay in Eretz Yehuda. So what do we see? That even though B'chol Makim Shegalu, wherever the Yidden went, Shechina Ima, and the Gemara says, nevertheless, when Yirmiyah goes to Bavel, the Shechina doesn't need to go with them. Why? Because when Yirmiyah goes, it's like the Shechina goes. So in other words, the level of Yirmiyah is mamish the same thing like Madregas HaShechina. V'shachanti b'seichem. I never heard this word before, and it's an incredible thought. The idea that Hashem says, not that I'm punishing that if you go, I can't go. No, like if you go, they don't need me because they have you. They have you, which is the Shechina. Unbelievable. Then the Rebbe continued speaking about the connection to the Bein HaMitzadim and the Eilah and every single Yid. Well, the Rebbe said, seemingly, the only shaykhs, the only connection to the theme is the last two psukim of the Avtzon. Zacharti l'chesed nirayich. I remember the chesed of your younger years, and therefore Hashem will always save them. And also Kodesh Yisrael Hashem, that Yidden are holy, and therefore whoever touches them will have a problem. But what do you need the whole story of Yirmiyahu being appointed as a Navi? Before you were born, I appointed you, etc. And because Torah is a Lashon Hara, so even the stories of Torah have a lesson to us. Nachas Shalom, they're a book with stories, etc., that happened years ago but are irrelevant. Therefore, you must say that the whole Alichas Hadvarim and Avtzon regarding the beginning of the Nevuah of Yirmiyah is shaykh to every single Yid, even though who are we compared to Yirmiyah, especially based on what we said in the previous point, that Hashem says either me or you. So the lesson was that the Avodas of Yirmiyah is to be payal the zikuch l'mata l'mayla like Pinchas, and through that you elevate and you transform Galus and the private Galus of each and every Yid. As the Fidik Rebbe says, the Rebbe points out, before he went to Kastama, that only our bodies are in Galus, but our neshamas are not. It's not understood. Kiyum Torah mitzvahs has to be with the guf. Nachas tefillin has to be on the hand and the head, etc. Torah is through your mouth. Machshava, the Torah, however, is through it's through the mind. But the Torah that the neshama learns is not the mitzvah. The mitzvah is that your mind has to understand. So in other words, if the guf is in galus, yay, mazel tov, the neshama is not in galus, but the guf is, the body is. So how does that help me? But the answer is, the Rebbe says another beautiful part over here, that because the neshama is not in the galus, so when the guf follows the neshama, in other words, if you prioritize your neshama, like in Perek Lamed Beis Tanya regarding obviously soul, it says, then the guf is also not in galus. So what was the message of the Fidik Rebbe? Prioritize the neshama, and then you are not in galus as well. Those are some of the points that the Rebbe said in the Farbrengen originally, through which this Sicha that we learned is based on. Hatzlacha Rebbe.